Hey there, I'm Cyberchroma, and welcome back to another stream. A programming stream for the first time in way too long. Yeah, we are actually making a game for once. Now, so in my past of doing different game development, or in my past of doing different stream things, I've done a combination of playing games and making games, doing different programming stuff. I haven't been doing the programming stuff as much lately because I have a full-time job doing programming stuff and was a bit burnt out doing it in the hobby side for a bit. But I want to try to get back into doing more game dev as a hobby, making fun games and stuff. So that's what we're here to do today. This stream's going to have some planning of a game that we're, I guess, hopefully going to be making over the next couple streams. And a lot of rambling, because we're not starting from ground zero. I have something here that I'm sort of going to be working off of that's going to require a bit of explanation. Also, I am on the wrong screen. Wow, wait a minute. I just note, how did I do all this setup? 1 second. We're going to put this over here for a second while I fix this. Ha ha ha. Great. First, my camera wasn't working before I started stream, and then I'm just on the wrong monitor. Love that. 1 second here. Wouldn't be a good old Cyberchroma stream without some kind of technical issues. It's gonna be this guy, and I'm gonna set you to this, and then now I guess I'll do that. There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, and there's our boy, Rotten Reginald. Only people who watched my stream like 2 years ago would maybe know. Also, our audio level's good. For the first time in a while, I also have random background music, because when I did coding streams, I'd have random background music of a playlist I have of like 1,000 random bits of video game music that I want to add to, because things like Mario Kart World came out that have good music that could be background-y stuff, but I have not updated it, so nah, it's fine. It's fine. I think audio levels are fine, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what are we doing? So, this is a video game, that I made for a school project many years ago, back when I was finishing university, and this happened to be some of the content of some of my first streams. In fact, if I may be so bold as to derail my stream immediately as soon as it starts, if I go over to my... 1 second, pulling something up. If I go over here, I have my I have my main YouTube channel, and then I have my live stream archive of just all different streams that I've done. If I go date in reverse, flip that around, crazy 2021. That's a lot longer ago. Man, time passes funky. This is how long ago I technically started streaming. Technically, the very first stream I did is lost to the ether, because I only turned on having streams saved to then be able to export them after my first stream. I did it in the middle of my first stream, so yeah. So this is my second stream and onwards. And I believe not too far away, haha, there it is. Sorry, did I say 2 years ago? Has it really been 3... 4. Bleh. Jeez. Okay. Anyway. So, here, just seeing if there was anything earlier than that. No. Some of my first streams were doing random programming stuff where I was, I had some school projects where I had to do cool coding things, and I was streaming, working on some of that. One of this thing was pretty cool. I made like a game in the Unity editor to learn more about how editor programming worked. That was cool. And played Beat Saber at some point, really. Right, I did do a VR. I forgot I did that. Funny enough. Anyway, sorry. A project I had to do was making a game of tag and making it cool or whatever. And the first stream I did here, 9 hours, and then here, all these streams are making these tag games. At first it was Ultimate Tag, then it was Extreme Tag, and then whatever. Right now it's called Ultra Tag. I'd like to change the name to anything else, but we'll get there. Yeah, so my first streams were making this tag game, so that's cool. I finished the game for the school project, submitted that, got 100%. Although, that project didn't have as much, like, getting graded. It was kind of more, you did the thing and it was good, or you didn't. Yeah, so, like, I got 100% on it, but it wasn't that hard to get 100% on it. And I went so far, too far overboard on... I went way too far overboard on making the game way more complicated than it needed to be under the hood as far as the programming is concerned. On, like, the surface level what the game is, it doesn't look that complicated, and really it's not. It's a game of tag. You chase guy chase you. But there's all this underlying stuff, how you can have multiple people chasing each other, and the code supports that. And then the AI of how the characters run around is very over-engineered and also doesn't work very well. Because of choices that I made, things that I tried to do, this scene, main level, is like 100 gigabytes. And it's an environment of a bunch of basic shapes, because none of the actual environment here has anything to do with how much space it is. That comes entirely from... I haven't looked at this project in a long time, so I have to re-dissect how it works. I believe most of that comes from this, and the stuff that generates this. This array that is 4,503 things long. And if I turn on gizmos, you see all this. And I believe I had an extra button I can turn on this, where performance will suffer in a second, and I don't know if that's going to impact the stream. Let's find out together. My face is fine. Okay. Game not running good anymore, but yeah, all these fun lines. Oh, I hope the editor doesn't crash. Let's turn this off before more bad things happen. If I zoom in on like a small section, then I can see this without it all crashing. Anyway, we had code that generated all of this stuff that has to do with basically the AI of how the characters run around the map, and it being very cool. I enjoyed working on it. I'm 100% aware that the Unity nav mesh system exists. I've used it like a little bit, but not a crazy amount. But for this, I wanted to just try making my own for fun, for just the sake of doing it, even though easier alternatives definitely existed. And it was fun to do. It barely works. It's weird. It was at a point where it kind of worked better, and then I changed it more, and then it kind of got worse, and then it was sort of, hard to recover from that. All of these nodes are automatically placed, and then it figures out the connections between them of where the AIs can run, and the AIs can jump, kind of. They get stuck in this corner a lot because it's just not that good. But there was a while in the middle where if I placed each node manually, went like, bam, copy, paste, around the whole map, then they could follow those nodes properly, and frankly, that was a better state of that this game was in back then. But whatever, I changed it more and then wanted to have things be more automatic. It is cool to have just this massive mess of dots, but yeah, messy for sure. Anyways, where was I going with any of this? Getting back into game development stuff, I have loads of different projects that I've worked on in the past, different things that I've done. So many not finished projects, so many things that just did not pan out or whatever, and some things I may revisit at some day. And today is that day for this game, I think. To kind of ease myself back into game development, but also still doing something that I think is going to be big and challenging and whatever. I want to revisit this tag game and make it better, and then try to see if I can turn it into like a very small scope thing that I can actually finish in a reasonable time frame, but something I can actually, I don't know, put up on itch.io or something like that. Not full on Steam, I don't think. Also, I'm going to lower my desk. Sitting down. Yes. So that's kind of a goal what I hope to do over the next couple of streams. And then I have, if this goes well and blah, 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 I do have more ideas for other game things I want to make, other things I might revisit, including potentially my unicycle game and an abstract adventure game, and this other Leprechaun game thing that I don't actually remember if I made streams of that one. I want to say there was like 2. Anyway, my old ideas that I've been just thinking about and planning more and be like, if I take this over-ambitious Skyrim-like idea and cut it down and strip out this and this and that, and then I have this. Can I turn this into a game that I can actually finish with my skill set and being solo developer guy and just doing this for fun? And the answer is maybe. We'll find out. So, yeah. So I wanted you to return to this tag game and yeah, do stuff with it. I do have the start of a design document written for this that I'm going to pull out now real quick. Bam! It's not that fleshed out, but it's just kind of, it exists, and I might flesh it out more later. I think today is going to be a decent amount of, like, prototyping and messing around with some ideas, because to some degree, we already have the groundwork of this tag game existing. I'm going to go into play mode. Let me remind myself and y'all what we have to work with. So, it's a first-person, it's a game of tag. I remember back when I was streaming doing this before, because it was very... me stumbling over my words saying people who are it and not it. I think I used the word like chasers and hunters or something to kind of denote who's it versus not it. So right now I am not it. I am running away. This guy is chasing me. And it's funny that he cannot catch up to me at all. Oh no, he got me. So it's kind of hard to see. Let me do this to start. There's a mini map. You can see that people run around. There are 2 people that are hunters, 2 people that are chasers at all time in this test level that I've made. Yeah, and you can see them running around and then getting stuck on this thing that they think they can jump on. I remember that being a flaw in it, but whatever. It's fine. We're going to kind of hopefully fix a lot of that and simplify it just so it can actually work and be nice and stuff. And then also to see if I can make better, like, you know, player stuff in the many years I've been doing game development, programming stuff. Have I grown from the days when I made this? We'll see. Oh no, I tagged that guy, and now he's coming after me. Ha 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 ha. I remember also there's a clip of me getting jump scared back when these guys were capsules, and me being very not prepared for one to just charge at my face. Anyway, so... yeah, you got guys that run around, they AI, basically being, if I'm trying to run away from someone, what's like the furthest place away I can be, and they'll let me try to run there. And then this map is like, alright, it's not crazy, it's got some ups and downs and things to jump across, sure. Little holes to fall down, and then like this area over here, it's like a maze of pillars. It's not great, level design is not my strong suit. And I'm going to have to do some amount of level design to make a new, better arena. And I don't know how it's going to go, to be frank. But you get better at stuff by practicing. And then, hey, Run Visual 1. Wow, sure, cool. I forgot this had an actual end thing. Anyway, oh, interesting. Right. I did do like a tiny bit of work on this morning. Where, when I had left off this project, it was in the HD render pipeline. My first thing I wanted to do with continuing to work on it is have it not be in the HD render pipeline. I don't like it as much. It's not as good performance. There's some graphical things about it I just think are clunky, and also my lack of understanding with the scriptable render pipelines in general. So I wanted to, some may say downgrade, some may say upgrade to just regular URP. It's a universal render pipeline. For people who don't know Unity and what any of that means, don't worry about it. I changed some graphical things from how it was before, and I was in the middle of doing that, which is why those guys have bad-looking outlines, and this guy does not. Yeah, I remember that outline thing. I wanted just some way to quickly be able to tell who's a runner and who's a chaser, and that just didn't... I tried something last minute, and it doesn't look great, but it did the job for the school project thing, and ideally I'm going to replace that with something better. I've learned that in many attempts I've tried at making, like, things have outlines. They do not look that great. So ideally I just try a different system to be able to identify who's a runner, who's a chaser, like something above their head or something like that. Anyway, I'm rambling so much I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah, so it's a tag game. I don't think I need to explain it super duper in depth. You chase people, they chase you. I guess in different kinds of games of tag, like what's the end objective, what are you working towards? In some versions of this kind of thing, you could just have, oh, you have like a 5-minute timer, whoever's not it at the end of the timer wins. I don't like that as much, because then you could be spending 4 minutes doing nothing and then just tag someone at the last second and then you'd win. Ideally, I'd want it to be something where things matter the whole time. So in this, I have a system where in the bottom right, there's bars that essentially, if you're not it, if you're running away, you're slowly accumulating points and slowly filling up. If you get all the points first, then you win. That's sort of how I designed this. And that way, there can be multiple people who are it and not it, and just whoever's been not it the longest for some total amount of seconds, then you win. And I like that system. The whole time it matters. Yeah. So another change, I guess, I want to make with this. So first of all, this isn't like a fully finished anything. It's a funky test level where these guys are running around. Obviously, it doesn't have any degree of polish like whatsoever. It kind of has people. Got good old Rotten Reginald here. And the main character of model, yeah, Brittany plays. Yeah, this guy, Agent like Irvin or whatever I called him. I don't remember. He does not look as good. That's fine. So, in trying to make something that I can actually finish, I want to take this and like cut it down even further, like make it smaller so that it can be something that I can actually finish and then make polish to make it look good. And at that point, then I can add back in more features or whatever. When I was making this, I was talking about if I were to extend it, I could add all these different modes. Like if you have this system where you're tagging people and people tag you, you could make more off of that. You could have like an army tag kind of thing. You could have a capture the flag sort of thing. Or hot potato, sort of. Those kinds of games could be incorporated into like different game modes with this foundational system. And while that would be cool to do, I want to just make tag work and be finished and have an actual playable thing that looks good with that first. And only at that point that I could consider adding more. I also, as cool as all of this AI running around stuff is, all this complex funkiness is, it doesn't work that well. It's not as efficient as it could be. And there is a built-in Unity system that does that job way better, way better on performance, and not having a Unity scene that is 100 gigabytes as a result. So as cool as this system is, I think I will be saying goodbye to it, and I'm going to cut it all out and just use regular Unity nav meshes and have characters run around with that. Now then, having them decide, I'm here, where do I want to run to? That makes that part that needs to be restructured, but I think I can do it, hopefully. Yeah, that should be better. Another thing I wanted to try. So that's just like, oh, take this tag game, strip it down. Some other ideas that I had, just while I've been planning this thing, how I maybe want to make it better. I was like, oh, here's an idea. I wonder if this could both make things simpler to program and then also make it just a little bit more unique, a little bit more interesting. Okay, to lead into that, I have to say one other thing. I also was thinking in terms of characters and all that, making humans is hard, and I'm not the greatest, like, 3D modeler person, blah, 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 blah. I have made some cool 3D model things in my time. I made an animated thing of me that's my logo and everything. But still making people and fully animated people hard if I want to just make a quick little small game. So I'm thinking that... Actually, can you even see your own person in this at the moment? Actually, forget. Let me just see. If I look down, can I see my feet? You can. Interesting. Oh, right, you can see your running arms. So... It's not even necessary. It doesn't even run in the direction that you go. It's just put together very simply. Also, the shadows are all kind of messed up. We're going to get that all working again at some point. I want to have... I'm going to have... The player can't see themselves. Oh! Dave H! Hello, hello! Where is the conveyor belt? Hello, hello! It is around somewhere! Tucked away on my computer. I know exactly what you're talking about. Hello, welcome. It's been a while. Both me not streaming as much. I cannot watch objects fall and go to the left. I don't know what I do. Oh, you don't just mean when I was making the conveyor belt thing. You mean when it was along the bottom of the screen. Yeah, that was ages ago. Yeah, I have made more things since then. Hello. It's funny that I'm also now currently in the middle of doing a stream where I'm revisiting some of my old work, and then wanting to extend upon it and all that sort of stuff. I actually happen to just now have pulled up my archive of my past streams, and I'm sure if I dig around here, I'll find when I was making that conveyor belt, I assumed. Yeah, a bit of a different layout. I don't know, changed things up a bit, and I kind of like how it currently is. One, I like my, actually, I don't remember if it was like this back when I had the conveyor belt. I think it was. My face being off screen because I prefer it that way. Some streamers have like that cover the entire window and then face in the top corner. I don't like that because I always keep blocking important information, and it's annoying to have to care about where my head is blocking the screen. Also, when playing games, especially a game, I don't know what's going to be in what corners that matters. I like my face not blocking all that. It just, I don't have to think about it as much. It's funny, this project still has a remnant of those days. The console being in the top right is because I did that on purpose, because then there was a square of nothing where my face could be. That's not needed. That can go back down there. And wow, you have slightly more inspector. That's funny. No, I do remember you looking like an uptrop. Or you're good. It was you. You're good. It was unique in how I remembered you. No, I remember you looking like an uptrop. There's the white lab coat. Yeah, the white lab coat works. Ha 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 ha. Discount Bill Nye in here. Yeah, still doing the same old thing, kind of. It's good. It's like a brand. It is. That's on purpose. And me and my logo is an animated me flying away from an explosion, kind of. Actually, no. I updated my Twitch one to my new one, right? Double checking. I think I updated all of them, right? Yeah, it's me with Shade to Show with my girlfriend. Yeah, that was the thing. Anyway, I have lost my train of thought. I was saying with that conveyor belt thing, if I somewhere in here. Is probably where I made that. Oh, when I started hanging with Unicycle. I could ramble and go through this for hours, just all my old streams when I was making different things. I am just curious if I can find, surely around here, it was somewhere around this time when I'd made the, wait, did the conveyor belt stuff came after this No Time to Think game? I guess it did. Neat. There it is. I just click into random in here. The conveyor belt that used to exist along the bottom. Wow. I think this looks a little bit better. Yeah. Haha, Inception. Back when I was making this game. And then even this, like, changed design a few times. It does take up a lot of space. Yeah. It did go through some improvement, I think. Like, I had changed it up a few times or whatever. And then I was making... I click into a random thing here. Making a cube bounce. Wow. Crazy. A different point in time made this thing where I had just this animation kind of going off to the side. Than where chat was. And then I tried to make a game down here. It was just like a cube that was like chasing like coins or whatever. And then there was like two cubes kind of working against each other. Yeah, I like what I have now better. I like it being simpler, not too much of a distraction. And I have a Rubik's Cube down there that works. Like, Twitch commands can make it move. You type, like, !scramble, it'll spin around a bunch. If you can go, like, !, I forget. Why am I forgetting Rubik's Cube notation off the top of my head? And yeah, there it goes. And it does still work. There was a while where it was broken, where after, like, a certain amount of time, it just bugged out and stopped accepting inputs. It is working probably now. I do at some point want to add to it. I have some ideas of things I can do to make that better. I thought it was a prism. Here's a Rubik's Cube. It would be cool in black and white in the background, maybe, then put your color font over it. Having, like, what, the down stuff there stuff be black and white? Maybe. I haven't actually, like, so I updated my stream layout how it currently is a long time ago and then haven't touched it since. I just haven't been streaming as much. I've gone like many months without streaming whatsoever because I've just been busy with life things. I've been going outside more and doing stuff in the real world. And also I have a full-time job, and that's also been keeping me plenty busy. Well, I haven't been streaming as much, but I still very much enjoy doing it and want to continue doing it. I like making games and playing games and blah blah blah, all that sort of stuff. Good living? Oh, very good, for sure. I have a girlfriend now. She's great. She's awesome. Everything good. I have a full-time job, and that can be stressful and, like, busy sometimes, but, you know, is what it is. And, yeah, really scramble. Yeah, the Rubik's Cube thing. If you type, like, !cube commands, then it brings up all the different commands. Basically, if you just type Rubik's Cube notation of, like, !R, and it'll turn to the right side, or R And then apostrophe, it turns it the other way. It's a whole thing that was over the course of many streams. I had many streams making that thing, and I want to have more. I kind of want to try making an auto solver thing. Like if you type like exclamation mark like solve or something, I want to see if I can actually make my own, having it figure out how to solve itself or whatever. But that will be a future stream thing at some point. For now, we're making a tag game. Let me go back. Oh, this is... Ooh. This has been playing. I'm glad it hasn't been playing its audio over me. Right. I haven't actually done anything. I've just been rambling for 27 minutes. We're definitely back to the old days, right? Ramble for eons without actually doing anything. I'm trying to ramble to explain what we're actually doing here, what I'm doing with this tag game, and then figure out myself, my actual sequence of steps of what I'm doing. It'd be cool if it said solvable in X turns, so how close you are. That would also be cool. Yeah. Yeah, I do have, I don't know if I have it listed in here. I think I have some notepad documents somewhere on my computer buried of, the different things I was going to add to the Rubik's Cube solver thing. I do solve Rubik's Cubes in real life, and I'm decent at it. Not amazing. There is a channel point redeem thing to force me to solve a Rubik's Cube. I can average like under a minute sometimes, but also every time I solve one on stream, I'm like, oh no, I've never been dead. Anyway, right. What I was rambling about to back to that. So this game that at the time, because it was just a tag game for a school project, I just called it Ultra Tag. If I'm going to keep working on it, I want to think of a better name. I don't have one yet though, so it's Ultra Tag for now. I forget what I was saying last. I'm just going to kind of start over with saying a certain point I want to make. I wanted to make this game simpler so I can actually finish it. So one idea I think I'm going to do is, so have the player as a first-person thing. You can look down and not see your legs. I can just not have a main character model. That's fine. I think I want to try turning the enemies into robots, because I think that'll just be easier to make and animate and all that sort of stuff. Maybe even like a robot like on wheels, so I don't even have to do full walk cycles or whatever. I want to try just making something that's small and simple so that I can actually finish it. Like, make a small thing that I can finish and then move on to other things. I want this tag game to be like me easing back into game development to then the next thing I make be bigger and better and whatever. But I still want this to be cool and fun. It's just going to be smaller in scope. So I'm thinking of the main enemies be robots, and then that got me thinking, like, oh, here's an idea just to shake things up a bit. What if the enemies can't jump? Like a robot on wheels. You're running around this arena. They can't jump, but you, the player, can. And can I do some interesting strategy stuff with that? So then, sorry, extra thing to that. The robots' enemies are faster than you. If they run faster than you, but they don't jump, you, the player, do jump, and then let's say, you know, there's little blockades that you can jump over. Can there be some interesting strategy elements that you have to, like, cut off these robots by, you know, jumping over barriers and using the map to your advantage, not just chasing them down a straight line of a corridor? Yeah, so that's kind of the twist on this tag thing that I have an idea for now, and it seems cooler than just doing regular tag, maybe. I don't know. But today I want to just start building a bit of a prototype and test the idea. I could bail on it. I don't know. I had one idea I don't think I'm going to go with. With revisiting this tag game, I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep it being first person or if I wanted to change it completely, have it be like a top-down 2D sort of thing. So then you can see the whole arena and you're running around it. I had that as an idea. I don't know if I'm going to do that though. I want to see if I can pull off first person, but I might have it be more flat on purpose. I can still have some, like, slopes and stuff, but I don't know if it's going to be, let's say, like, multiple levels of an arena. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I want to keep it simple. I want to start off making something small and simple and actually finish that, and then I can make it better. So got it. So MMO. Exactly. Let's add all the multiplayer networking, blah, blah, blah. I mean, a tag game sounds like, on paper, like it'd be good to make a multiplayer game out of, but, like, again, simple. I also want to make a simple thing. Yeah. It'd be cool if you could, like, shoot, like, barriers. Oh, that would be neat. Yeah. In initially writing stuff and planning things, yeah, if you could, like, jump over barriers, or, like, slide under things, or run on walls, all that sort of stuff. when I was initially making this version of it, I was gonna have that both you, the player, and enemies had like weapons. And before you go into a level, you'd sort of select your loadout, I guess. You'd have different weapons. And I like the idea that each weapon would have some kind of offensive and defensive purpose. Like, it could be useful both if you're running away from someone or you're chasing someone. Like some kind of slime pool gun thing. Either you're chasing someone, you shoot them, and now they're running slower for a second so you can tag them. Or you're running away, you shoot it on the ground behind you, and then now it's like a puddle that if people are running at you, then they would get slowed down running through. Something like that. So I've had ideas. However, before I go too extravagant with any of that stuff, I want to very purposely have it be small and simple. So I'm purposely restricting myself to just... You, main character, you run, and you jump, and then a button to, like, tag a person. No sliding, no wall jumping, no weapons yet. I could add that stuff, but first I just want to keep it just like that, just simple. And then the thing I said with the enemies of how they don't jump, they run faster, and that they also do the tagging thing. I wanted to start with just that, and see if I can sort of pull it off. I don't have to take it to a full, like, finished, polished game, but just, like, making a prototype test level with just those things, see if I can, polish out bugs, make it fun, blah, 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 and then start to add things on top. Design doc? Yeah, that's what we got here, the start of one. It doesn't have a lot because I just made this today, because I want to start making stuff to then see if I can do it, and then expand from there. Also, planning stuff is hard sometimes. I'm not great at level design, so having to design an arena for this, I'm like, oh no, can I even do that? But, we'll see. Anyway, half an hour in, I think I've rambled plenty. Oh, wait, hold on. The barriers can be on a timer, or you can only shoot 2 and then the last one disappears. That would also be cool. Or the robots can shoot them, so you have to try and route them. Yeah, yeah. See, the ideas like that would be cool. I like the idea of it being an action thing, but then also having some of that, strategy elements to it. My initial plan with this version of it, as I was also gonna have 3 levels. Also, Reptilian Goddess, hi, hello, and drink I shall. I can indeed slurp. Hello, welcome. Let me catch you up on the last half an hour of rambling. Let me just start over from the beginning. I'm kidding, this is a joke. I've been rambling too much, I have to start getting into making stuff at some point. But just finish the thing I was just saying, which was, oh no, shoot. What was I just saying 2 seconds ago? Oh no. Hello. What emote is that? Oh, it's like a lizard drinking water. Ha ha ha. None of the cats are in the background. They might show up today. We'll see. Something about that I'm worried about designing, like, arenas because I'm not as great a level designer, something like that. I was saying something else. Something with maybe making a game design document. I don't remember. It's fine. Whatever. Saying that originally you're doing... Oh, yes. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Helpful. Initially with this, I was going to have 3 levels of, like, increasing difficulty of not just the arena, but, like, the AI that you're fighting. In the original thing, the first guy you'd fight would be this Rotten Reginald. Just you, him, simple arena, be more tutorial-like. And then level 2, I had the idea of having, like, 2 people that you're having to fight against. But they're also sort of fighting each other, and, like, of the 3 of you, you have to win. And then level 3 would be back to just 1 person, but they'd be, like, extra hard. Maybe have some other mechanic to them. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to do that. For now, I'm going to focus on just one thing. Make Rotten Reginald cool. Actually, no. Well, it won't be him anymore, because it's going to be a robot or something, but we'll see. Yeah, but the idea of if there's different levels, different people that you're facing, they can have slightly different abilities. That could be a cool thing that makes things more interesting. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I think enough talking. Let's start actually doing stuff. So, one other thing with this project is something that I had started ages ago and I'm now changing. I did back up the original if I want to look at it. So I'm fine to start tearing this apart because I already backed this up elsewhere. So I mean, I don't know if I want to start deleting everything. I haven't fully gone through all of my code and everything and what exactly I want to keep versus what I want to rewrite. I don't want to be too hasty on deleting code before then going like, oh no, I could have used that. So probably some stuff on the player will probably stick around. Agent Ivan. I don't even know. That name is just because it acronyms to AI. That's like the only reason that's that name. In terms of like the theme, I was hoping to have it be like secret agent guy versus like overly cartoonishly villains. I guess if I might make them robots, overly cartoonishly evil robots, I guess. I have a robot with a twirly mustache. That'd be funny. But we'll see. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So I do have to start going through and reminding myself of some of this code. I think all the stuff on the player is what's most likely to stick around. I see that I, ages ago, had already attached this stuff to... Like, I see I put the initial stuff in place to potentially have, like, you know, the reroute controls and everything. So we have basic player move stuff. Wow. Crazy. And I see that, like, on... yeah, it references those other scripts that I guess we'll get to in a second. Yeah, at the start of this might have to start with me just going through some of this code, reminding myself how it works. And of course, there's a jump button. Crazy. One thing I might try doing for fun... So, we already have a jump, and that's like, okay, that's cool. Just pushes you into the air, it jumps. Wow, insane. Crazy idea. Something I might try... If I want to have, like, hurdles that you can jump over, I don't know if I want to try having, like, that you actually interact with this hurdle. Like, if you are facing it and you press a jump button, like, you sort of, programming-wise, kind of lock onto it and have a bit of a jump animation of going, you know, like, hopping over it, where if you had, like, a hand sticking out, you'd actually interact with the thing to jump over it, as opposed to just physics launching you into the air. Edge grab type stuff. Yeah, kind of. It could be interesting to try. Like, actually, like, you raycast at the hurdle and then, yeah, launch over it. I'm not 100% sure, but that's something I'm thinking of trying. And then the same thing could apply to, like, sliding under something. I could have the full mile of, like, if there's gaps, having a full jump and ledge grab. But I don't want to get too crazy with that right away. And also, I haven't actually done that before. A lot of player things that I have done, that specifically, I've never happened to program a full-on ledge grab, so that could be tricky. We'll see. But just first thinking of just a hurdle, and you jump over it by actually, like, I don't know, going in a proper arc, going over it, rather than just physics launch you in the air, player controls do the rest. Yeah, I might try doing that. Or maybe a bit of both. Like, if you press this space bar key, it looks... I mean, it does a raycast in front of you for a hurdle. If there is one, then do that interact step. If it doesn't see it, then just launch you into the air. So it could be both. We'll see. Yeah. But for now, jumping looks like this. I don't know if that's going to be the first thing I do. Like, we'll see. First thing I might be doing, maybe might be, like, getting the enemy AI to work with just a standard nav mesh rather than my crazy complicated pathing system, but then still having the tag logic in it. Oh, there's another thing that's written in here but I didn't say. I want to change one thing with how the actual tagging works. In this current game, it's just everything has, you know, colliders as things do, and if you just get close enough to an enemy, then you tag them, and then they get stunned for a second, or they just kind of stop and you run away and whatever. I want to try having tagging to work by, like, you actually have to press a button. Like, you're close to them, but you actually have to press, like, a grab button, essentially. So you have to actually grab a guy to tag them. I think that could just be, like, one thing that makes it slightly more fun. And then I can do more with the actual, like, transition of, hey, I got you, now you're it, and I can run away. I may make more of an animation out of it. This tag thing didn't have any of that polish. It's just you touch someone, and then you're stunned, and they go away. But conceptually, what I want this to look like is if you're not just playing tag with the robot, you're not just going up to them and being like, haha, got you, and then run away. I want the bit of the, like, the tiny bit of story there is to be like, they stole something, like they're holding something, like some hard drive that's gonna let them do some evil thing, and you're trying to take it from them, so you tagging them is you grabbing it out of their hands. I want that to be the framing of how the sort of tagging works, because then it can be easier to identify who's it and who's not it. Who's holding the thing? If you're holding the thing, then everyone's chasing you. If you're not holding the thing, go find someone that's holding a thing and grab it from them. So that part's important. I want that to be a part of this. Jump into the deep end. Immediately add a power-up where you become mini and fast, you're harder to tag. Jumping in the deep end is why I have so many unfinished projects. I am trying to change that for the first time in forever. No. Yeah, I want to start with something simple, actually make that, and then go from there. Yeah, because even with this small thing, there are still things that I'm worried about. Like, I feel very rusty when it comes to level design, and then, like, not just designing, like, an arena, but also the graphical part. Like, if I were to turn this into actually being, like, buildings and metal structures or whatever, I don't feel super confident in my skill of doing that right now. I need to get back into that and find a good, like, art style with this that I can actually... Like, that would both look cool, and that I can actually create in a reasonable time frame. And make it a bomb, and it's a tag version of Hot Potato where you're trying to not explode. That's why you keep giving it to the next guy. That would be an interesting way to flip it. The thing I said was that you're trying to take something and run away. Having it be the reverse of, I got a bomb, you take it, and then run away. That would be funny. That'd be a funny way to do it. And then then there's a countdown going, and then whoever's holding it at the end of the countdown explodes. That would be fun. I talked earlier about the possibility of having, like, different game modes. Like, using this tag infrastructure, I could make different game modes, like a capture the flag sort of thing, or Hot Potato. I literally said Hot Potatoes. Like, I literally said that earlier. For now, I want to just do it start with a regular tag way. And I like my current system of that you're taking something and running away, because then the entire game matters. And while you're holding it, you're sort of accumulating points, rather than the end condition be holding a thing when time runs out. Like, to re-say something I said before, but just very briefly. If the objective was be not it after 5 minutes, like, game starts, 5-minute timer, at the end, whoever's holding a thing, you win. That could mean the 4 minutes don't matter, you tag someone last second, you win. I'm trying to design it in a way that the whole game matters, so I'm trying to have it be like, as long as you're holding a thing, you're slowly accumulating points. Once you've accumulated whatever many points, you'll win. So you want to spend a lot of time having a thing, not being tagged. But I'm open to the idea of then having other modes. Like, have a level where there's what I said, and then have a level like that. Maybe you're in an arena with 5 people, and every minute whoever doesn't have, or whoever has the Hot Potato explodes. So then, like, every minute people are getting eliminated. So then, yeah, running around the whole time does kind of matter. Like, that would be a way that would be cool. But I don't want to overcomplicate things. I don't want to overcomplicate things too much just yet. I want to start with just the one thing and go from there. Anyways. Right, okay, so what we're doing, I was looking over code. Like, I do the slightly boring thing of just quickly reminding myself how some of this looks. I don't know how useful this is going to be for me. I don't have, like, part of today, I'm hoping to make a proper game plan of, you know, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. Maybe I need to make another Trello board, but, oh well. I was hoping to do some of this planning before I started the stream, but I had a very busy day, so that didn't quite happen. I am probably going to be working on this game between streams. In the past, I kind of juggled between whether I wanted to only work on the game during the stream or work on it outside of the stream. And by working on it, like, if I can find a few 5 minutes here and there to work on it my own time, then the game will produce faster. Also, Autumn was walking by in the background. I heard her for a second. She wandered off. I blocked her with my chair. Oh no. Unfortunate. Regular turning stuff. I don't know if I'm going to change anything substantial with the moving. Maybe. I'm going to figure that out. Standard jump stuff. Yep, good old physics. I guess that would also be a thing I would want to choose. Like, do I want to stick with rigid body physics-based approach, or would I want to use a character controller or something else? I'm going to choose the option of, yeah, I'm going to stick with rigid body stuff. I prefer physics-y things. Character disable. This had to do with if you get tagged, that temporarily disables everything about you for a little bit. That'll probably still be involved. Like, the thing you're stealing could be something that you need to be powered up or cleaned off or something, so you have, like, an X percentage bar so that you have to hold it. Exactly. That actually pretty much is how it's programmed right now, just without it actually being anything. It's just a bar that goes up because the thing's kind of an unfinished test project. But yeah, that is ideally what a polished version of it would look like. And the actual thing itself could be different from level to level. If I say there's like 3 levels, I can have it be 3 different things for the sake of whatever funny jokes or story that I want to have. Like, here's level 1, you're fighting this robot who has this evil goal, so he has thing A. Next level, here's different evil robot who's doing some different evil plan, so thus has something else. Yeah, yep. Anyway, this was stuff that had to do with the character score, the thing I was kind of just talking about. I imagine a lot of this won't need to change yet. Character minimap. Oh, yeah, right. Interesting. This I might still be able to keep around. Love the GameObject.find call. That probably shouldn't be how that is. It could just... Oh, well, it could just be a public reference, drag and drop, but also... I have a lot of this... I think I have a lot of the same code... Yeah, I think one thing I set up here is because the AIs are very similar to the player, there's some code that's shared between them. So you things that just say character rather than player. Oh, yeah, I did do it that way. Right. So the AI and the player... Yeah, the enemies and the player have the same moving and turning script. It's split up because I essentially have either the AI calls the move script with its how it wants to move, or the player gets input and then calls the movement script with how it wants to move. I did that on purpose. Would I keep it that way this time around? I'm not sure. Maybe. I'm actually not sure how this would work with the nav mesh. That's something I'd have to figure out. I'm rusty on nav meshes. Normally you just set a destination and then it moves there. I don't know how that would work with then fitting in moving and turning stuff. But if I do say that I would now want to potentially make the enemies different than the player a bit, that might be okay for them to operate differently. Hey, it's 1 year since. Hi, hello, one hit. Hi, welcome. Getting a lot of faces in here. Wow. All I needed to do was go back to doing coding streams. I've just been playing random games just because I haven't been coding as much. Who's the new addition to your profile pic? That would be Skylar, my lovely, lovely girlfriend, who is upstairs. Yeah. That's part of a thing I did for Christmas. My 3D model of me that I already had, I made one of her and the side-by-side thing, and that's my new profile picture on things. That turned out really well. Speaking of things I've made, man, it's been 50 minutes. I will get to actually developing stuff eventually. Just... yeah, lots of rambling to do. I did make a cool thing. I showed off in my Discord recently, but I can show it off here. I made a cool Photoshop thing. Actually, surprise reveal when this launches. In just a second. Ta-da! Blam. This is basically a collage of a lot of my best works over the years. It's just, it's purposely very, like, messy and just, like, all over the place. I like the style of it. Yeah, it's just a bunch of screenshots of just different things that I've made over the years. A lot of these have been on stream. There's Rotten Reginald from this tag game. Actually, other screenshots that specifically come from this tag game. There's the mini-map here. I wanted that. This is the super complicated pathing system. This is the same thing but from a different angle. Like all the nodes and stuff. I think there was one more maybe. No, there's this from the Unicycle game. Anyway, oh, and there's the Rubik's Cube from down there. I wanted that too. Anyway, yeah, this is a cool thing of just different miscellaneous projects that I've done. So my tutorials, an abstract adventure, a school project I think I did on stream, this like VR educational game thing I made. My submarine tutorial, the intro and outro with my YouTube videos, a lot of hanging with the unicycle stuff. Like dinosaur guy from a different educational school project thingy I had to make. My very first YouTube video ever, eons ago, back in high school, random mitosis animation I made. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of things that I don't know. I think it's cool for me to have made this. I'm looking into potentially getting this, like, printed out on, like, a poster put on my wall. I think that would be kind of cool. Anyway, oh, and then also the profile picture thing there, and my older one. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. I did that. It was cool. Anywho, back to game. I have a lot of the player and enemies sharing a lot of the same code, and that might stick around. I'm gonna figure that out, I guess. This mini-map system was interesting. How the game currently handles a mini-map, if I remember correctly. Rather than having an actual drawn mini-map and then, like, sprites on top of it to take care of, I believe this just has a camera in the sky pointed down that has no lighting. So, but yeah, just top down, looking down. Oh, and then there's literally the player sprite. So each player, like 50 feet above them, just has their player sprite running around. It was a camera? Yeah, exactly. And you're looking for an excuse to get rid of the orange explosion you hated. Yes! Exactly. That was also part of this. Yeah, this explosion thingy does not look that great. This doesn't have it. So, wow, win-win. But for my nostalgia's sake, I was fine having it on here. It works better in the circular profile picture than it does in the full screen version where it's all like bubbly, because it's just what I was able to make in Blender in an afternoon. Anyway, this minimap, yeah, it's this basically. I don't have to explain it much more than that. I think I'll be able to keep all that exactly the same. Other than the profile pictures themselves, I don't know. We'll see how I adjust that. And then even the system where like, oh, if it's green, then if it's red, stay away from them. Green, safe, kind of thing. Okay, that's basically a lot of the player stuff. Oh, we have the complicated, so super complicated AI pathfinding stuff. This took many a stream, many a 8-hour stream, was so super overly complicated, but it was fun to make. But I don't think like any of it is sticking around. Why is this? Oh, does this really get reference to a rigid body that it never uses? How dare I write incomplete code or code that probably changed last minute or whatever. AI trigger interaction input. I don't even remember what this is. To some degree, I don't know if I need to go through all of this. Well, how the AI decide where to go, a lot of that's probably going to be rewritten. But how they decide, like how they handle their states of being tagged or not tagged, a lot of that's probably going to be sticking around. Also, what's with the spaces on those? Interaction input. Yeah, this... Oh! If this is how this is what I think it is. Wait, no, hold on. Jump. Need to jump again. This is how AIs decide when to jump, is it? The pathfinding is how do they decide where to go, and the this trigger interaction inputs, I think had to. Yeah, it had to do with how to decide how to jump. So I think a lot of that will get written. Well, that part's gonna potentially get cut out entirely. Did the? Yeah, these are environment layers. Yeah. Okay. Pathfinding itself, all these waypoints. This is gonna be just cut out for a. All this funky stuff is gonna be cut out for a nav mesh system, I believe. The cleanup. Yeah. So all this, right? This is why the scene right now is so big. It's 100 gigabytes or something because you got 45,000 4,500 game objects, and then these interaction triggers. Right, that's for the thing I was just looking at. Did these wait? Oh yeah, this was me. This is a. I forget if this was a manually built thing to how the AI decided where to jump. It was part of like the initial design of it. Right, because I sort of redesigned how the jumping worked halfway through this. So there's this like mess of the old code and the new code with jumping and blah blah blah. Okay. Waypoint blockers. This was so that they'll actually go up this ramp, basically saying, hey, don't try to pathfind through here, go around and up the ramp. Right, okay. And then we got the mini-map itself. We'll see if I can leave a lot of that the same. And then the character icons, sure. Canvas! This is just the random endgame screen, mini-map. On-screen position, off-screen position. That's just for the endgame thing being there. Sure, I have a script dedicated to just hiding the mouse. Really? Okay, sure. That'll probably just go in like a pause screen script eventually. Right. There's also some leftover environment things because I I think I started this in the universal render pipeline, then at some point decided I want the graphics to look good, and then moved it over to the HD render pipeline. And then, as of this morning, I decided I want to switch it back to the universal render pipeline. So I moved, I cut a lot of things back, but there's gonna be some lingering, things like this that don't do anything. And this that is literally just a broken script that does nothing, so I can just delete it. And the lighting probe that is, that's stuff from, pipeline shenanigans. This, in theory, we shouldn't have to worry about too much yet. Like, we're going to focus on on gameplay things. Okay, with all this said and done, I think I've done my brief going over a lot of my code, reminding me of a lot of things. I don't think I need to go through a lot of this yet. That I'll kind of go through as we go through it. So, how do I want to approach this? Where do I want to start? I could start in a new scene and just start to bring in some of this stuff, or I can take this and start to cut stuff away. Oh yeah, I also had this planning scene. Oh right, when I was still a few more just things of jumping around. What are you? Lighting testing. Profile pic, lighting. Oh, this is a scene. Oh god, the lighting. That's bad. This is how I took the quick screenshots for the profile pics or whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that this time. This was how I planned these levels initially. I had this crazy idea to just kind of like build it with blocks from like a top-down sort of thing. I don't know if that's what I'm gonna do this time, but we'll see. And then this was when I was building the whole waypoint system. Ignore all the pink. Actually, can I just... Oh, missing material. Oh, no. If I just slap a quick blue on it, whatever. This was how I built the waypoint system initially. Yeah, all these are like automatically placed, not manually placed by me. Yeah, anyway, that's that. Okay, I'm not going to delete all that stuff yet, but I imagine it won't like be needed necessarily. I'm going to duplicate this scene, call it like new prototype. Well, that's not how you spell prototype. I believe it's a Y, not a U. New prototype thing, and then now I'm just going to start ripping stuff out, hopefully. Hopefully without breaking stuff. These waypoint blockers, these are just game objects with on the layer waypoint. Those can go... Actually, maybe I'll start turning things off first, rather than just deleting them. And then when I'm confident that they're good to be gone, then I can actually delete them. All this can go. All these waypoints... See ya. Path calculator, that's... Oh, yeah, right, that was a part of this. I don't know if it'll be able to... Like, AI nav mesh stuff is going to take care of this, but how... A thing I did with this AI that was cool when I made it, but won't be needed as much with this new idea. I had a lot of the different... If I had like 50 characters running around, I basically had a system that they shared a lot of information. So you sort of calculated, like, if I'm here and I want to get here, what's the shortest way of doing that? Or if I'm here and I want to get here, what's the next immediate node that I'd want to travel to? And sort of calculated all of that in advance. So that when you go into play mode, like when you actually start running the game, all that stuff's calculated. And that's what like the 4,000 game objects are. And then the one game object that has like an array of however many things. Was it just those 4,000 or more connections or something? Anyway, that's a whole... Actually, initially they were game objects. No, whatever. Anyway, initially they were stored a different way, and then it was stored in an array. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They pre-calculated a lot of information so that in the game, the performance of them being like, I'm here, I want to get here, wasn't that much. I think I'm just going to replace it all with a standard nav mesh system. Let Unity do the busy work. It's fine. But this was fun to make at the time. Okay, so all the pathfinding stuff, I think it can go. I'm going to make a just new environment that's not any of this. So I think like all these layers, they can just go. I don't know if there's anything I need from them. Are they just basic game objects? Or are they no scripts on anything? Some mesh colliders? Yeah, sure, fine. Lighting, or we're going to start with lighting. Do this and just place a directional light or something. Light. Just start with just everything all very default and basic and blah blah blah. Actually, I'm going to turn off all view, but without deleting stuff just yet, just in case. It character tracker. Oh, this sort of had to do with calculating like who's winning, who's it at the start, and who isn't. But I wrote a lot of these scripts in a generic way that multiple people could be it and multiple people could be not it. And the game supports that. I think I want to keep that programming in place, like to support that. But for this first prototype test level I'm going to make, it's just going to be 1v1, and I want to make that work and be fun. But I'm going to still keep in the back of my mind having code that could support multiple people being it or not it. Or whatever. So I think this is going to be untouched for now. Characters, then we got all these guys. I'm going to turn off you and turn off Bad Berry. So we're just going to have Agent Ivan and Rotten Reginald. And then I'm going to go one step further, and we're just going to turn off the character model of Agent Ivan entirely. We're just going to have a first-person character. You look down, you don't see your feet. For now, it's fine. Yes. Tag overlap, pathfinding overlap, ground detection. Oh boy. So, okay, this is more code I have to double check. Some of these systems, if I were to reprogram them now, like I don't know if I do them completely differently or if I just leave this as is. I guess like it doesn't have to be super clean and elegant. It just has to work, right? So, this pathfinding overlap, character closest pathfinding. Okay, what are you? Let's see. Looks like I'm also seeing more like things that don't get used. This code should not run. Okay. Good job, me. With some of these, I don't know if it's going to be like better to try like take code I have and strip parts about or strip parts out and rechange parts, or just like start from scratch. I want to try to use some of what's here, if I can. But if all this looks confusing, then some of it is to me too, because I haven't touched it in like 3 years, which is crazy that much time has passed. Huh. Okay, so also, is this still working? So what did this do? It gets close range endpoint, character tracker, yep, path calculator. So this works with the path calculator thing. Get closest waypoint. So waypoints aren't going to be a thing anymore, but kind of. So a lot of this will be replaced with nav mesh stuff. But I'm just trying to figure out the purpose of this. Like I get from the name, it gets character closest pathfinding. It finds what character is closest to us. But why does the player have this? Why would the player need to know this? New closest object. Oh, okay. I think I remember. Okay. Back when the pathfinding waypoints were a thing, each character would always keep track of which node they were closest to, so that other characters could say, hey, you, I'm trying to chase you. What node are you closest to? Oh, good, you're already keeping track of that information. That's cool for me. Let me just grab that. That's why I did that. This could be a problem for, I guess, this new system if there's not going to be nodes. I don't fully have planned out how I'm going to do this with the nav mesh system, but we're going to figure that out. It's easy to basically say, hey, nav mesh, go here, and it's going to go there. That's the whole point of that. How I'm going to calculate where it needs to go might be more complicated. I might need to yeah, we're gonna figure out how I'm gonna calculate that. It is possible I do something like this node system where I have, instead of 4,000 nodes, I have a map where I have like, you know, a dozen that I manually place, and then it goes, I'm here, I want to go near this node and run around there and blah blah blah. Maybe that's a thing I do. But it doesn't need to be as complicated as this. Anyway, tag overlap, character it state. This keeps track of... So this is like the trigger collider of, hey, I'm close to a thing, I tag them, now I'm it, they're it, whatever. This keeps track of that. What's all the random spaces on here? Whatever. I'll need something to still keep track of the state, but I don't know if it's going to happen this way. This code... I'm sorry, I have a rigid body underneath another rigid body? Really? That's not good. But I might have had that for a reason. And this one's kinematic, which is not great performance-wise. Okay, good job, past me. Where is, right, I hid you. Let me just see something real quick. So you had this giant tag overlap thing. So I'm thinking I'm going to replace, instead of just when you get close to someone, you automatically tag them, you have to actually press a grab button. So I don't need to test whether or not I can tag someone until, like, I'm really close to them. Or if I press a tag button and then, like, I could raycast out. Or maybe, like, raycast a cone, something like that. Raycast out a cone, if it hits someone, then tag them. So in theory, I might be able to cut out some of this. Or at least not have this giant collider, which then I shouldn't need the double rigid body for whatever reason I had that. Ground detection, sure, why not? Okay. And then camera, you just did camera turn things. Okay, with all that said and done, how do I want to actually move forward? I'm gonna make an empty object like unused, and I'm gonna dump all this stuff in here to eventually delete. I just don't want to be too hasty with deleting things and then go, oh no, I should have deleted that. I need to remake it. Problem. Okay. I guess first we just make a very basic environment. Good old new test level. Over there. We're probably gonna have some lighting material issues because I moved things from the default render pipeline to the universal render pipeline. All this is lovely. I have my, like, random... Yeah, I had this thing of basic colors. Let's give it yellow. I don't know. Okay, just make a quick floor. I don't need anything insane here. Yeah. Make it quite big. Oh, not like that. 20 by 20. And then... Hold on. Have it kiss the floor perfectly. Like that. Okay, wow. I don't even know if I'm going to give this walls. Let's just, before I... actually, I was about to say, let's just leave it as this. I'm going to do I can just place blocks to run around. In theory, I'm going to need some, like... I tried to copy you, excuse me. In theory, I'll need some, like, hurdles to jump over or whatever. I might hold off on that. I don't know if I'm going to have, like, clearly designated hurdles to jump over, or if I'm going to have a sort of, like, you can jump over anything that's however high. Ideally, that would be more robust. But we'll see. We're just going to start with, you know, yeah, we'll say that's a thing to jump over, and then over here we're going to have a thing that you can't jump over. Crazy. And I need to make the lighting of this better. I'm just, like, even just as a test environment, I need this to not be all broken lighting. Okay, so let's just, so, wow, random environment, crazy. Let's make you blue and you purple. And also make this canvas not seeable, just so I'm not accidentally clicking on it all the time. Oh, the light is not, that's why. Lighting, there we go. Ah, oh, lovely. Let's just, bleh. I'd love to have a better looking default environment. I could, like, just put in, like, a Pro Builder material or whatever. It's fine. It's fine. For now, it's fine. I say it's fine. I'm just going to keep messing with some settings real quick. Can I go... No, I don't like... Why does this look... It doesn't just look kind of bad, it looks quite bad. I'm gonna just make this like a... make a gray. No, that's not even... Let's do some basic sort of coloring for a minute. I had you... what's that? Your position doesn't matter. I'm placing you up anyway, just to kind of... Yeah, okay, lighting and all that doesn't matter that much right now. I can come back to it later. Some of this, like, very tedious, just tweaking a lot of little things. I might try to do more off-stream or whatever. You said to... there's also some things that might be slightly broken just because I don't have, From my trying to convert from the HD render pipeline back to the universal render pipeline and all that. I don't even... Is there a skybox? I guess not. Let me just make the default one. Do I have materials skybox? Sure. This one's like... Oh yeah, I forgot I had this random default space one that I didn't make. I don't think the game's gonna take place in space, but as a default, just anything to have. Fine, sure, we'll live with it. And then there is something I'm missing and forgetting with just making an environment like this look a bit better. And if I have this at 0, like this looks not good. Hold on, let me just do something. If I do this, I'm gonna see everything is black. I have no lighting. Why are you gray like that? You're the blue one. Oh, right. I gave you a tiny bit of emission. Okay. Did you have that too? That was, yeah, relic of before. Also, I don't love all these being pink, but that's just because not... I don't know, the image of it isn't being correct. If I just kind of go refresh or re-import... Love if you fixed yourself, but whatever, okay, I guess not. Hold on. Okay. Just kind of setting up. I don't really know what good values are for ambient lighting or whatever, but start with something like that, and then not good, but it's better. Whatever, let's make a tag game. I have my character there. Oh, is that how... Has my scale been off? How tiny is this? Could be worse. Just have player here and have Rotten Reginald over here. I said I'm probably gonna swap out his model like a robot kind of thing, but for now it can just be what it is. What is this that you've got going on? Pathfinding overlap. Oh, this is the overlap with the with those waypoints that I talked about to find its closest waypoint. I think we're gonna try having both that and the tag overlap sort of be disabled. Okay, so starting with just this, where do I want to go with anything? Was that? That's a consistent thing. Okay. Well, first, I'm curious if I just go into play mode, is everything broken or is gonna be having a bunch of errors? Hell yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Oh no, you don't know how to move. Almost looked like he was staring at me for a second. Is that just how your animation was? You just kind of creepily look around like that? Whatever random default Mixamo animation I got. Oh no, your legs. I think in the properly working game they're constantly running somewhere, so they don't really do that idle animation much, if at all. So I guess step 1 is just get this, strip out enough code for it to not be erroring in my face a bunch. Step 1. This is erroring because you don't have the whole closest waypoint thing. Character change. What is that? I mean, this whole AI pathfinding input. Change a lot. Get destination. Ugh. This is the bit that I'm not sure if it would be better to just start over or not, but now's where I get to figure that out. So you start by getting a bunch of references. Sure, that's fine, even if a lot of them are going to now not be used. You get your destination where you want to go, and then you calculate all that, and then you do input things. I'm trying to decide, do I want to start making it so that this AI can pathfind around, or I could start with having a non-moving AI that I can run up to and tag and then run away from. One means getting the new like tag logic functional again while commenting on enough of this so that it doesn't error. Other involves one one involves making a nav mesh. One involves actually making all this, commenting out and did I make stuff work? Whatever. Don't mind me being indecisive. I think step one, just comment out things to just not have errors happen. Let's just start there. So I might just start it just commenting out all of you, which means that in theory, you're just gonna stop moving and have no errors. Maybe. No. Your character move script on Ivan. Why? Oh, because you're trying to get a reference to an anime that doesn't exist. But I set that to true because the game object's disabled. That's fine. Meh. So, and right now it's gonna be trying to animate an object under the hood. That's fine. We'll fix that. Not fall off the map. It doesn't really matter how big this test map is. Let's just make it bigger for testing purposes. Okay. You're not airing it anymore. Good. So I guess does any of the actual tagging part still work? No. Can I push? Is that what's happening here? I can totally just make you fall off. Bye! Alright, in the real thing, that shouldn't be a problem, because it'll be on the move, or tagging me, or, like, whatever. It'll be running around, so that shouldn't be a so-called real issue. So, I guess, if I'm to write up just a quick thing of goals of, like, what are we actually working towards, then I can just yeah, so I have an idea of what I'm doing, and then I can pick something and start actually doing it. So we need new enemy movement, which is going to involve pick apart current pathfinding system place with nav mesh. Which part of that means I'm going to just have to make a nav mesh. Make nav mesh. I mean, actually, that with this shouldn't take long at all. Let's just make a nav mesh. Yeah, nav mesh surface. Oh, right, there's these. Yeah, modifier volume link. This link is how you can kind of do jumping, if I remember correctly. Which I don't know if I knew about at the time when I started this. I'm like, I'm going to make an AI that can jump. It can kind of do jumping, but you have to manually define each possible jump point rather than it be able to calculate jumping on its own. Anyway, nav mesh. Yeah, you're a nav mesh. Do you need, we'll keep everything default. Oh, wait, generate. It can generate links on its own. Is that new? I don't know if that used to be a thing. Fake. Wow. So, hypothetically, only the enemies will be using this, and enemies won't, if I want to say that enemies can't jump. Enemies wouldn't be able to hop over this. So actually, I would want to modify the agent to not have much jump height, raise step height. So, I'm not going to make it 0, just in case any, like, small bump. I don't want it to be a problem. We'll make it, like, 0.1. Yeah. Step height conflicts with max slope. Are you sure? Why? It makes some slopes unwalkable. Okay. I mean, I don't know how much slopes I'm gonna have. Let's say that also you can't go up that high slopes. Let's say 30. And then what? 0.2. That's fine for you. Okay. Basically, as long as I see that it doesn't go over this, then we're good. I don't know how close the borders need to be. Eventually, I'll make walls around the arena. For now, that's fine. Okay, we got our nav mesh. Wow, crazy. Actually, you know what? Just for fun, I'm gonna make more like. Oh, there's like a little. Just a few more things to sort of snake around. Not important at all. Yeah. Okay. I mean, then testing like little choke points like that. Eventually, that's gonna be stuff that we're gonna want to care about. Okay, so make current pathfinding system work with nav mesh. That'd be thing 1. Repair tag system. Which in theory shouldn't involve movement, even if the AI thing isn't moving. It won't be able to tag me, but I should be able to tag it. Player should be able to tag enemy, but I'm changing the tag system to, instead of working off of a proximity thing, just you're close enough, you tag, I want to make it an interact button, which I think is going to be left click for now. I can make it shift, or it can be any button. The button doesn't matter. Which then also means that the enemy will also have its own simulated way of tagging. It will, I guess, enter the proximity of the player, raycast in front of it. The player has to be in front of it. I want it to do a similar kind of raycast that whatever the player is going to do, and then sort of decide to press a hypothetical grab button that would initiate the tagging. Yeah, so in that case, that'll be just the player and enemy sharing code. So, player should be able to tag enemy. Change tag to work off of like interact button. Grab. We'll call it a grab. Grab button. Player pressing grab does cone cast. Player pressing grab does a cone cast of some kind, and then yeah, that does in theory then it should be able to do the normal tag workflow that I currently have. Then initiates normal tag workflow, and then hopefully that'll work. What might be funky then is that if thing A is tagging thing B, in theory you'll already be facing it because you had to face them to grab them, but I might like force the camera to purposely point right at them. I'm trying to think of what's like a basic version of what this could look like, and then a more polished version of what this could look like. In a basic sense, this could just you turn towards them, they get stunned, blah blah blah, kind of like how it works right now. But it'd be nice if I could eventually have it be more polished, where it initiates like they are a thing, not just a cube or a cylinder, like something that has arms or whatever, it's holding something, and there's an animation of you grabbing it out of the hand, which actually means I might need player arms now that I think about it, if that is the route I want to go down with that. We'll see. I'll figure that out. Or maybe the player could also be a robot or something, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so yeah, the player. So some animation where you and this other thing lock on, you grab something out of their hand, and then you run away. So, and this needs to be something that works no matter where you are in the map. If you're running around, if you have just fallen off an ledge, like, this needs to work no matter where you are. If you're up against a corner, basically I need the camera to not be stuck like inside a wall or something. So that might be tricky, but we'll see. In theory, if the player is standing somewhere and they're facing the enemy and they're standing somewhere, there should be like there should be space there hypothetically. But I could do some raycasts to make sure, or something like that. So player face enemy, enemy faces player. Do this little animation hypothetically where they interact, which that is a whole separate thing that we'll figure out later. And then would the player automatically like 180 to like turn away, like now I'm gonna run this way, or would I leave that up to the? Maybe they'll back up, and then I'll just give the player control, and it'll be up to the player to 180 to actually run back around, because maybe they want to run to the side or whatever. Then the enemy that got tagged does need a kind of recovery time. Maybe like in terms of animations, they could actually, if they've been sort of shoved to grab something out of their hands, maybe they could fall over. So there's this like brief second of they're on the ground, and they slowly get back up, and then they resume chasing. Just so it gives the player a second to run away, and then the player would need it like a similar kind of thing. Yeah. So whoever got tagged needs there already is a stun time, but like it's kind of clunky how it currently works, but a more polished version of it would be a lot nicer. So player and enemy face each other. We're not going to make a whole grab animation right now, so like we're going to sort of skip that to be gets stunned for a couple seconds. I don't know how long. That's going to be a component of this, is balancing what seems fair. Maybe an enemy will be stunned for longer than the player. I don't know. I mean, that's less balanced and fair, but like what would feel good for the player to do. Okay, so some of this is already kind of, this part is in theory already there. Okay, so 2 things to do. Nav mesh tag thing. I think I am leaning more towards that I want to just get the tag part of it working, because then we have a game. And I can do that independently of with the players running around. Once the player is running around, then I might have to like turn that off temporarily to test that the tagging part's all working. So yeah, we're gonna do the tagging part of it first. And then also, in theory, that should already work with the tag manager we currently have. Also, it's interesting the Skybox doing that right now. Oh, this ground needs to be like tagged environment or whatever for the camera to see it. Actually, all of this, in theory, this, I don't know if I'm going to tag that hurdle or if it's just going to go off of it raycasts and sees what its size is. Maybe I'll be able to delete some of those layers. Environment. Let me double check that that's going to show up in the mini map. Okay, let me just, real quick. In theory, this should show a square. Is it just that it's, well, how high doesn't matter. It should be the side of the camera. Ooh. Isn't this is the mini map cam? Are you not? Don't mind as I just tangent into something different. Why are you different than? Uh-huh. Fascinating. Why are you... Oh, they're right. There's different... This is... It's two different cameras. Whoa, okay. Those need to be the same, don't they? I need to shrink them together. Okay, so that's 2 issues. One... you can't really see the map. Other than the profile picture thing is wrong. I don't know what script this was. Hopefully that's fine. I don't know if that was. I'm gonna hope this is some HD render pipeline thing. I'm changing stuff. Hold on, let's gotta make those changes again. We take off you. Set these to an environment layer. Okay. Why minimap no show? What it's supposed to show? I guess I have to double check. How did you work in the first place? Why do you ask? Oh, are you not? Well, you're set to everything. Something's up with this. Why is that causing that to happen? I don't remember what these 2 cameras are supposed to show necessarily. So there's the profile cam and then the mini map. Or sorry, I do kind of. In theory, this profile pic cam showed just the profile pictures for some reason, and then the mini map cam showed just the. Oh, your position doing that? Okay, I don't know why I have it like that exactly, but you go down far enough that you see, yeah, you definitely see the player. I'm definitely going down a side tangent that's not that, like, I could do this part later, but I'm just now curious. Why isn't this showing anything? I just have you on everything for a minute. Why? At this point, you're just like a normal camera, right? Is it not the way you rotated? actually forget what this box around this accomplishes. Output. It does output it to a texture. Interesting. Oh! Is it stacking them anyway? Okay, hold on. Canvas, minimap. Ah, it's just, okay. Even though this is off, it's still taking what it was doing before. You need to be set to an initializer thing, right? Then you'll only show the, yeah, that. Okay, okay. Well, wait, now you're not showing... That's because I moved it down, isn't it? I moved back to 500. Okay, okay. Remembering how cameras work. Okay. Now, well, I'm still going to move it. So now I should be okay to move this to like 50, 30. And I should see my guys. And they're way too large of faces. Like, you can't even... Yeah, they take up way too much percent of the map. Let's just go even smaller. To kind of... $20, sure. Oh, it is thundering. I hope I don't get a power outage. Funky. Okay, minimap. The profile pictures themselves, they come off of the player, right? Oh no, how do you... Oh, or do these... Hold on. This is the render texture of all of them. Where is the thing that actually... Where do they come from? They get spawned in... And other giant things in the sky. What game object are you on? Oh, minimap icons. Okay, these. So just these I want to shrink. Oh. They do get spawned in at runtime. Which means that they're a prefab, which means I probably just need to shrink the prefab. Do I just minimap character icon? I think it's just this. Let's just go 1 on all areas. Okay. Is that... Good enough. Good enough for a test for now. Okay. We resurrected the minimap. Ah. Okay. Anywho, beyond that, back to the thing we were initially doing. I want to get the new tag part of this working. So, I guess I would start from the player, but I need to do it in a way that the player will be able to tag enemy, and then enemy will be able to tag the player in a similar way. So how I currently have this set up is I have this tag overlap that has this character it state wait to tag time. The new version of this shouldn't need thinking, hold on. It will raycast from somewhere. Maybe I actually I don't care about the character having this. Well, I mean, I can have them have it for now so I can see their scale, but like I'll be probably getting rid of this at some point. I could swap it back out for a cylinder, but whatever. We have a guy. We'll keep the guy for now. What is the center of you? The center of you is the ground. If I'm raycasting out from like the eyes, do I raycast out from the camera? Well, yes, probably. Yeah, cone cast from the camera. Which then means the AI will need its own like thing to raycast out from that'll be like roughly at its head height. It won't look up and down, it'll just look side to side. Hopefully that'll be okay. Actually, would I want this cone cast to decide if we've hit something that we can tag? And I might use the same cone cast thing looking for like the hurdles to jump over from the system I described before. Would I want it to go up and down with the camera? I don't know if I want to do this, but let me just pitch something. I could have empty game object that is the height of the camera and even goes out like the camera. And then I could code something so that it turns left and right with the camera, but it doesn't turn up and down. maybe. And then it does this cone cast just forward. So even if you're looking straight up, or if you're looking straight down, if the guy's in front of you, it'll still raycast into them and still hit them properly. Maybe. Well, I don't need to write code to have it copy the character left and right, because this camera just... This turn just does the up and down part, right? If I have this game object and I turn, like, the way that I set up this camera eons ago is that the player turns and that's going to just turn with it. Yeah. Easy. No coding required. Okay, good. So I can just do that. Is the camera just, like, yeah, they're in front of the player? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sure. I don't know if I'll actually pull it back, like, fully in the center of them or not. We'll see. So let's call this, and it's basically the same thing as the tag overlap, but without the all this. I mean, you know, I'll just use, I'll rename this to tag interact. What do I call it? The center that we're going to raycast out from to see if we can interact with a thing. Interact. Point interact. This name does not matter. Why am I failing to think of what to call this? Interact. It doesn't matter. Whatever. I'm gonna call it interact point until I can think of something better. Oh. What did I just lose? No, stream still online? Okay. We good? Okay, for a second I thought, from thundering, I thought my power actually went out, or the internet went out for a second. I think we're good for the moment. But that's not promising. Saving failed. For the missing script, okay, what has the missing script? Inform me. Oh, it's just the camera. Okay, that's probably HDRP stuff. That's probably fine. Okay. Save you. This pathfinding overlap also shouldn't be needed, as I said. The ground detection, I guess we have for now. It's for being able to jump. Interact point doesn't need the second rigid body. It doesn't need a capsule collider. It's just a point that's going to live roughly where the camera is, but just stay facing forward. I could get the exact camera dimensions. 0.25. Okay. Okay. And then, yeah, that should be fine. So then this character, it state. I don't love the name of this. I don't think that's what it's going to really be anymore. Also, my random counter, I just remembered that I made, like, oh, never new scripts I make. I haven't, in an hour and 40 minutes, I've not made any new scripts. I think we're going to now, because, well, or I might change this. I mean, this whole thing, it's not going to be the same. Instead of, yeah, you know, I am going to make a new thing. It's going to be on, okay, there might need to be two components to this. The player part, and then the generic part that's on both the enemies and the players. So, we'll make a... Where is it? Actually, I'm thinking... okay, we'll make a script... Blah. Some menu things have moved around in, Unity 6. Anyway, we're gonna make like a player interact. Yeah, I'm gonna split this in two. A generic interact script that just has to do with getting the input of them pressing left click or whatever, shooting the cone, deciding there is something here that we can interact with. And then there'll be, I guess in case it hits multiple things, there could be a priority order where an enemy is at number 1, followed by, like, a surface to hurdle over, I guess. And really, for now, it's going to be just those two things. And then if it's an enemy, then go to some other script to initiate grabbing to do the tag exchange. So it's a new script. Wow, crazy, cool. Because I'm doing a lot of revisiting code that I haven't written, like, seen in a while, like, I just remember the infrastructure that I'm working with and what tools I have at my disposal, so I'm not having to reinvent the wheel. It's a bit funky, but we're getting through it. I think the more we develop this, the more I'll figure all that out. Okay, so interact. What did I just say? I want to just, if they press, for now I can just hard code it, like if they press E, if input dot get key down, get key down, key code dot left mouse, or meta. Left, oh, well, right. Why am I, let's make it left shift for now. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Just because when I'm going to be clicking around and stuff, I don't want to accidentally set it off by mouse clicking right now, but I might make it mouse click later. So if they press left click, then we want to see if we can interact with stuff. So raycast, new, raycast, or no, it's physics.raycast. That's what I'm rusty with some of this. It's fine. We'll see how much I have to Google things. But for now, I'm pretty good. So there's the raycast. It just shoots at one point. I think I want to make it more forgiving. So I think I'm gonna make it like a. Isn't there a cone cast? I thought that there was. Unity cone cast. Funny what I just said about not Googling stuff. I believe there's something like that, isn't there? No? What types of casting are there? Am I just thinking of like, or maybe it's like a cylinder cast, which might be good enough. Types of raycast. I mean, I could just do a raycast for now. It'd be like good enough. I can do multiple raycasts if I really want to. I just want to double check. Sphere cast, box cast, capsule cast. Okay, yeah. Yeah, capsule. I mean, actually, I don't even know if it'll matter that much. Let's just do a box cast. It's probably fine. So, center being where we are. So transform position. Half extents. That's gonna be like how far, like how wide the box is. So I go vector. Let's go to vector 3.1. Sure, whatever. Make it a decently big box. Direction. This is gonna be transformed up forward. What else we got? Rotation. You can rotate the box. Interesting. Quaternion dot identity, I guess. Actually, transform dot rotation of this thing, so it's angled the way we're angled, I guess. I don't know if that'll matter much. If we do all that stuff, I could combine the if statements in a second, but whatever. Right now, I just want to make code that works, and I can clean it up later. I'm just trying to get, like, what's in my head out. So if we do this raycast, I didn't define, this just went to infinity. It's important that this does not go into infinity. Let's actually put this to a public variable. Public float interact distance. And we'll start with being like 4 or something. Interact distance. Yes. I also need the whole raycast info. Actually, so I know you have raycast hit. Is that what you'd use for this? Like box cast hit? What do you have for oh, layer mask actually could be important to only interact with things I care about. Yeah, because if the floor got in the way, that might be annoying. I mean, can I get everything here I care about? Also, what if you're like looking through a wall? I guess, more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm like, oh, there's more nuances to just shoot a raycast and see. Double checking my options. I could have a layer mask with like the environment or things that I care about interacting with. Even if I only filter for like enemies and hurdles, then it could go through a wall and tag someone on the other side. Is this not? Oh, it does just do hit info. Does it? It just goes out until the first thing that it hits. Yeah. So you'd want the first thing that it hits to be an enemy. I'm just worried it might hit the floor. I guess I could just have. Well, no, this isn't gonna look up and down. It's just gonna go forward. No, so it should be fine. As long as it's wide enough. Tall enough, too. Okay, it could just be... Yeah, okay, no. Maybe this is fine. This is fine, actually. For now. Anywho. I guess I'll have to make sure that's tall enough to catch the tiny barriers, which means maybe it won't come out of the player's eyes. Maybe it actually might be fine just coming out of their middle. But what if you're going up a slope and you're looking up and you go to tag a guy and you might go out and hit the slope? Huh, this is being more problematic. Do I just do a normal raycast? I could just do a normal raycast out of... I mean, I don't know how tall the slopes are going to be, per se, and the enemy isn't going to necessarily be above you. Okay, we're just going to do a box cast for now. When it starts to cause problems, we can change it. Does that sound good? Raycast, hit. Where in you do I need to... after direction, probably. Out, hit. Okay, then, hit dot, okay, so then we have to just see what we hit. Is it an enemy, or is it a hurdle thing that we have, and we're not worrying about that just yet. Easy way to tell if it's an enemy is just if it's a thing that has whatever script I want on it. Oh, did I not? Oh, right. Or, yeah. Also, I guess for now I'm just gonna call this interact cast. Oh, I didn't even add the script to this. That would be not good. Yeah, and actually, I am gonna lower you a little bit. Not that much. Something like that. Okay. So you just need to see if you have something on the player, blah, blah, blah. What do I want to grab that says this is a thing? An agent that's not me. I mean, I could just look for any kind of player move. Yeah, pathfinding. I guess whatever it is. Or, I mean, a tag. It should be a tag. That would be the smarter thing, right? A generic word that can describe both a player and an enemy. Agent is fine, I guess. I'm actually surprised these don't have those tags yet, but this agent. Yes. Oh. I mean, I guess I'm hoping I won't need that tag later to describe the, like, an actual difference between a player and an enemy. But in theory, like, part of the, oh, sorry, I keep clicking into that. In theory, a lot of the point with this is that they'll be very similar. So the point is that I'm not differentiating between them as much. Okay, so I guess it needs to know that it didn't hit itself. Is that going to be a problem? I guess we're going to figure that out. If hit dot collider, I guess, like, if it's in front of it, then maybe it'll solve that problem. But we'll see. If hit dot dot compare collider dot compare tag, if it's agent. I don't know if there's any other tests I need to hit. Well, I guess I would need to say, if you're in a map where multiple people are it and not it, I would need to make sure that if I am not it, and the thing I'm interacting with is it, then do stuff. So I'd be like, if I'm not it, which means I need to get that state, it, should say, and agent I'm grabbing is it. So these are the two bits of information I need to grab, and I might combine this all into one big if statement eventually, but for now, just to kind of do it piece by piece. So I need to now go digging around for how I keep track of it. Am I a thing that is currently it? In theory, surely... so I have this it character tracker. This is like a game manager thing that says, of all the players around, which ones are it, which ones aren't. And thus, I think... Yeah, this is a public list. Something probably grabs this. So I can get a reference to the is tracker and then go through this and then... But I want to just see, is there... Do I already have something written from a while ago to say, this thing I'm looking at, is it it? Is it an it thing? What would that be? It would have to be for enemies. It might be on
AI pathfinding. You do have a reference to the character tracker. Last it character. I don't even remember what I used that for. It character change. Right. Okay. So this had some of the how this pathfinding worked is, you know, if we're it or if we're not it, that like affects where we're gonna run. So I think that has to do with keeping track of that. And if there's been a change, there being a different last it character mean that someone just got tagged, like it changed from whatever it was last frame. I guess that's how I kept track of that. Okay, so it character 0. Okay. Do I actually have this be, like, in order? So I'm trying to keep this flexible under a system where multiple people can be it, as opposed to just assuming only one person is it or one person isn't. In this current system, like this little tester was just 1v1, that'd be the case. But I want the code to support multiple. So I can't just assume one thing's it. If it's not me, it must be them. That kind of thing. Does also I'm just this whatever. Character closest path. This denotes who they choose to chase. New end destination. It closest will change. Okay, this isn't quite what I'm looking for. Also, I'm just gonna do one of these. Let it all reformat. Yeah. Do I really not have a system? Like, maybe I'm just not seeing it, or I'm looking in the wrong place. I can code this if I need to. I coded all this before. I was just looking if I already had a system in place to just call something and say, "Hey, am I it or not?" Like, does a player not really keep track of its own it state? It has to, right? Because then that is how it decides whether it's chasing something or not. Surely I'm just not seeing it. Okay, hold on. Let me just peek through this again. Get destination. It character closest path hiding. Oh, if it contains... Oh, it characters dot contains transform. That's how we do it. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. Let me just kind of dump this in a notepad for myself. Bring this way over here, back over here. So I guess I will have this have a reference to... I don't like the idea of having a drag and drop thing to it character tracker. The it character tracker could just be a static thing. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. It's characters. Public static list, because it's not gonna, like, anything just should be able to access this. So just go that, and then I don't need a reference to it, which I like. It characters dot, or it character tracker dot it characters dot contains. If it contains, oh, right, a dish. So it wouldn't be me. This is on a child game object because it's here. Oh, that's off. That shouldn't be off. It's here instead of here, so I can just go dot parent. I'd almost like a cleaner way of doing that, but whatever. Fine. Dot parent. And thing that I've just touched, which I guess I'm hoping that it would be the parent game object of the enemy. I'll try to, I guess, hopefully make that be the case. And thing that I've interacted with, which is hit.collider, that I know has the tag of agent. I guess I could, if I really wanted to, I could make it so only that parent game object has the tag agent and none of the child objects do. It.collider, and yeah. Sorry, I'll say we're not it, which means this should not contain us. That's one part of it. If we're not in that, and this does contain the thing we interacted with that actually just got rid of, the dot transform. Remind me, can I just go straight to hit dot transform? Yeah, okay. Stick that in an if statement. If all that is true and is the case, there's an extra bracket on there. That means that we tagged something. Wow, crazy. But we tagged something that we're allowed to tag and that we should be tagging and all that sort of stuff. In theory, if we're not even it, I could cut this off way up here. But also, this is to interact with, I guess, other things. I did say that this was gonna... I was gonna separate this to a different script. I guess maybe I'll hold off on that until I actually need to make the hurdle part, and I'll separate it. So, if we press an interact button, we shoot a raycast, it hits an agent, and then now we're also testing for grabbing. We're not it, and then we're grabbing something that is it, then do the grab. Before I do anything, I've written code that I've not tested. Let's just test this. Grabbed, yeah. Tag, yeah. Now there's gonna be some errors because I changed this thing being static. I mean, a lot of this code might be cut out at some point, but for now I'm just gonna quickly. I do a quick swap. This shouldn't change the functionality of this, even though I'm gonna cut it out. Oop. Is that enough to just make you compile? No. In theory, then this won't even need this. Oh, actually, nope. You need it for something else. Never mind. Take it back. A few more. Go. You. Okay. You still working? Good. Other than the beginning, there's not been significant tech issues, so that's good. Always lovely. And over here. Okay. Compile now. Good. Well, I'll also have to see if this giant size of capsule is good or not. Ooh, errors immediately. You'll love to see it. Oh, is that the problem because it has looking for characters it can't find. Winning character, second character, player. Isn't there something? Actually, now that I think about it, where do I set? I would have to. In the other level, I had. Oh, when I made it static, did it not? Hold on, I just realized that I think this actually had data in it before. Like it had the default. Like that's how I assigned who was it and who wasn't at the start by filling that list. By making it static, I can't see it anymore. Right. So I might actually just set up. So there is no character 0 because that it doesn't exist. I still like the idea of this being static, so it's easy to grab. So I can just have a separate list of let this one be static. Starting it characters. Do that. And then this list doesn't do anything else after that. Okay. I'm gonna hope that's gonna be enough to fix it. Actually, hold on. Then it characters equals starting it characters. Which I guess means that line could have stayed the same. You know what? Okay. Alright, one more time. Just that. Give me this. Equals. And then, actually, this winning and then second winning might not even, like, apply anymore. That has to do with the bars I show on the side. Okay. Still not happy with it? Because I didn't fill it out, right. Of course. So starting character who is it is going to be Rotten Reginald. Yeah. And that is all. Okay. Yep, no errors. Cool. I made it like left shift, so I should see a log. More no script. It's fine. Off to a great start that I'm not seeing anything. Tag is agent is not defined because I made it the layer, right? I mean, I might have that be a thing later. I realize that that's not what I meant to do, so we're gonna undo that real quick. Yes, change children. Does the player have any special tags before I change you? No. Okay. Jump trigger. That might not even be a thing anymore. Let's go agent. And both of you a tag agent. Which, actually, I guess just being this parent one is fine. So then that should be going for the whole capsule. I guess my worry would be it hitting itself, but we'll see if I can get away with that not being an issue. Tagged, yeah. Okay. Okay, so it did it then. Good. Tagged you. Okay, that's step one. Step many to go. Next, we need to call the code that changes the tag state, which we already have somewhere. So now I just gotta find that. Or that. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to open Blender. No. Undo. Now we have to find that. Oh wait, this has a score thing, really? Okay, sure. Right. I'm looking for on Interact Cast the other script. This character, if they, I think this has to do with the process of tagging. So I just want this script to call what it needs to on here. And so instead of it working off of a trigger, looks like I had got transferred up parent. If we enter the trigger of something and it has a parent to get the parent up so things don't error. And oh wow, this is literally the test I was just did a bunch of work to figure out how to find. Whatever, fine. And can tag. We have a state of whether or not we're allowed to tag. Oh, that's already all there. All well. Also, this being static, I guess I can do that. Haha. So it looks like I just want to call here. Let's just try going like public void attempt tag or something, and then to dump all this in here. And I guess I'll bring in the if can tag. I don't know if that'll stick around necessarily. We'll see. I don't know if another thing to consider, if we go to grab and we miss, is there like a cooldown and be able to grab again? Or wait, it slows you down a tiny bit. That's stuff I gotta try to figure out and plan. Okay, so if we can tag, blah blah blah. Other in this case is that. Right. I think I'll just pass in other from the raycast. So go other collider. Yeah. So then player interact needs a reference, and it's gonna be on the same game object. That'll be nice and easy. What did I? Is this something I deleted or? Oh, that's when I was gonna get the character it state. Well, it can be, or not the character it state, the character it tracker. I don't know if I might rename some of these scripts. We'll see. Character it no, it character. No, yeah, no, that, sorry, I had to write the percent. State equals or typing all the wrong things. It's fine. This and then this is just a good old GIF component. Thanks for filling it out for me. This dot attempt tag is what we're gonna do. Passing in What do you need, actually? You're gonna have your own character it state. I guess this won't need to be on this game object anymore, so I might actually move it to the parent. I think I like all these main scripts being on the parent. Yeah, so I'm gonna move you. Can I just do that? How that work? Which then means it can't be a get component. It has to be a get component parent. Same diff. Passing in. Actually, hold on. What do you use other for? You get the character it state. I could just get that beforehand, and rather than passing in other, passing in that. Or other is just hit to transform. I guess I can just either do it here or do it there. Oh, because it's still the collider. Transform. Yeah. Is that all you need that for? Okay, that works. It works, it's fine. Then it does the tag, which then sort of resets this cooldown, removes ourselves from it, adds, so this won't be parent, this will just be the transform. I guess that's important of a difference. That means, so not all of this, yeah, instead of all the dot parents in here, it'll just be transform. It'll be us, ourselves. This we're getting rid of because we're not having that unfamiliar stay work that way anymore. Can tag is all that. I might also change this to awake. Just make sure this is set up beforehand. Yeah, move some of that around. It's fine. Yeah, okay. Let's see if that works. Now, it should... Ooh. From my custom enter tool. That's fine. In theory, a lot of that's gonna hit the chopping block. Okay. And all those grips too. Mostly on cameras. Okay. So touching you does nothing physically. Pressing left shift. Yeah. Tag view and I am... we can see this from the mini-map and from the bar there. I've now started accumulating points. I'm the not it one that's running away. An evader. Or whatever. So that seems like it worked. I just want to double check something. Go out and back in. You weren't accumulating points. Hypothetically, if... See, he's not running around, but... Oh. Actually, wait a minute. I have this back... So two things. One, I just realized I had this backwards. I was starting in the wrong state. And... the tagging was still working even though it shouldn't be. Starting it characters in this scenario, I actually want it to be me. Also on the AI, just to match with the players doing this, I'm just going to take this off. Actually, for the... No, the AI won't be tagging. It's going to need its own, like, grab stuff, and that's going to live on the script, I guess. But the character, its state, is going to go up top. Go up there. And just to match with the player, I'm going to move this out and up. 7.35, and this is like 1.2. I just want to match. Enough. I just near the eyeballs. Okay, so that's a few problems to quickly look at. So now, yeah, I'm in the red state. Yep, he's getting points, and I should be able to take him. Which I cannot, which I'm gonna guess that means I got my if statement backwards. If the it functionality, it and not it is getting scrambled in my brain, just as it was when I was working on this initially. That's why I use different terminology. If we are it, we are trying to chase, which means that, yeah, if we are it and we're not it, yeah, right. I had this backwards. If I'm it is not it. I'm tagging them so that they become it. Yes, of course. Whoops. Okay. Okay. So now just, look, I'm red, you're green. When I click left shift, you will become red and I will be green. Definitely not that way. Oh, Francesco! Hi! Hello! Yo! Hello, and thank you for the subscription! Thank you! Thank for the Prime! I appreciate that! Thank you! Super duper, thank you! Woo! Thank you! I really appreciate. And also welcome back. Look at me actually doing a coding stream. Wow! What's going on here? Tag things. So, I rambled for like 40 minutes before I actually started working on anything. Probably longer than that, I think. The brief version, the very brief version. Oh, this game? Yeah, so this is a game from eons ago that I'm taking another crack at, essentially. I'm revisiting the tag game that I did for a school project eons ago, and I want to... So I haven't really done game development stuff for a while. I'm sort of taking a break from it. I want to get back into it, like easing my way into it by continuing this game for a bit, and then jump back onto some of my other projects, I guess. So, right now we are